Good evening, everyone. I'm Trudy Murata, a volunteer community ambassador with AARP Virginia, and welcome to AARP Virginia's Social Security Workshop, and thank you for joining us. This program is scheduled to run for about 80 minutes. We may finish a little bit early, depending on how many questions we address at the end of the program. AARP created this workshop because we are committed to helping you understand the ins and outs of your Social Security benefit. This Social Security workshop will help you to learn how to secure your benefits and better understand the importance of Social Security claiming decisions, as well as explore the future of Social Security. AARP wants you to have the answers so that when you are thinking about retirement, you are confident in making a decision that is right for you. In the reminder for today's session, we sent a link to download the slide presentation and a link to the resources page listing all of the websites that we'll talk about this evening, but we will send that in a follow-up email as well. I'm thrilled tonight to be joined by Pamela Sams. Like me, Pamela is also an AARP Virginia volunteer community ambassador, and we're very fortunate to have her on our team. Pam is a chartered registered planning counselor, and she's spent the last 20 years helping people improve their personal finance wealth through solid financial life planning. Pam is a strong advocate for Pam is a strong advocate for financial literacy, and she voluntarily conducts financial education seminars and workshops on behalf of AARP. While Pam is indeed a financial planning professional, her role here this evening is to provide general guidance, not specific advice or recommendations, but hopefully the information that we cover and the resources that we share will help you make informed decisions about your financial future. So with that, please give a warm welcome to Pamela Sams. Pam, the platform is yours.
Thank you very much, Trudy. Welcome all. My name is Pamela Sams, as Trudy had mentioned, and I am a community ambassador with AARP. I am looking forward to facilitating tonight's conversation and understanding your Social Security benefits. The agenda tonight, if I can get the next slide going, we created this workshop because we are committed to helping you understand the ins and outs of Social Security benefits, as Trudy had mentioned. So tonight we're going to cover a lot of ground. You'll learn about what Social Security is. We'll talk about full, early, and delayed retirement benefits. We're going to talk about Social Security and work, because that is one of the things that everybody asks me questions about. Family benefits, and then finally, we'll spend a few minutes on the future of Social Security. So we have a lot to cover tonight. Let's see. Disclaimer. Before we get started, I want to share the disclaimer with you on this session. It is intended to be informational and educational. Does not constitute any investment, tax, or legal advice for you. We do strongly recommend that you do seek the advice of a professional before making any financial decisions. We are not responsible. We do have to disclaim that for any consequences of any decisions that you do take on reliance of any information that you do that we provide in this event. Additionally, of course, as Trudy had mentioned, I am a financial professional, but in tonight's discussion, we're not going to provide any specific advice on personal situations, but I do recommend that you do contact the Social Security Administration. We'll give the contact information later on in this session. So Social Security basics. It was created in 1935 in the aftermath of the 1929 stock market crash and the Great Depression. It is based on the concept of social insurance. The individuals contribute to a central fund managed by governments, and this fund is then used to provide income for individuals when they become unable to support themselves by working. Now, Social Security is funded by almost all of us, your current workers and employers pay into a Social Security system through payroll deductions. You'll probably see something on your on your pay stub, FICA, a portion of that goes to pay for Social Security. So most of us generally know about Social Security retirement benefits, but Social Security also provides benefits when people become disabled, they're no longer able to work, and it also provides income for survivors and deceased workers. Safety net. So, and Social Security was never intended to be the end all be all for your retirement. It is intended to be a foundation of a safety net for retirees. As I mentioned before, never, 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 never intended to be the only source of income for workers in retirement. But many of us are using it all for income, of course. And so we're going to take a closer look at Social Security retirement benefits. Now, the benefits that you earn through your working years, they will provide you and possibly your family with guaranteed income, monthly benefits for the rest of your life. So we're going to take a little quiz and see where we are in terms of knowledge on what the average or what you think the average Social Security benefit is. Okay, we got people thinking about it. Yeah, slowing up a little bit, slowing up a little bit. Okay, so looks like we're at 67% said 1304. We have 23 say 1907, and we have 10% coming in at 995. So if you chose, drum roll please, C, 1907, you are right. So the average monthly Social Security retirement benefit in 2024, this year, is 1907. So thank you very much for playing. Unfortunately, no parting gifts for you, but pat yourself on the back if you chose C. So let's talk a little bit about your retirement benefits and your eligibility. So, of course, how do you qualify for Social Security benefits? You and your spouse must have worked generally for at least 10 years. You've paid into Social Security through your payroll taxes. As I mentioned before, is listed on your pay stub as FICA, to be eligible for retirement benefits under Social Security. Now, FICA stands for, most people just know FICA, but it does stand for Federal Insurance Contributions Act. And it is a tax paid by employees as well as employers that funds Social Security and Medicare. So employers and workers, they pay an estimate tax of 7.65%. 6.2% of that goes to Social Security, and then 1.45% goes to Medicare. Now, in 2023, last year, the income cap is 160,200. I believe that will probably remain the same for 2024. Now, if your salary is more than that amount, you will pay FICA only up until 160,200. So usually towards the end of the year, probably November, October through December, you may see a little bit of increase on your paycheck and say, hey, look, I got a little bit of a raise. Probably not, but you're not paying Social Security anymore. So you're going to get higher paychecks if you make over that 160,200. So when can you claim benefits? You can receive benefits for your full or normal benefit amount. So you'll have normal or full retirement. So when you look at your Social Security statement, it'll probably say FRA. Government loves acronyms, so that means your full retirement age. It's generally between 66 and 67, depending on your birth year. Now you get 100% of your benefit at full retirement age, and you can choose to receive benefits as early as 62. But your benefits will be permanently reduced. So if you do claim at 62, your benefit will be reduced up to 25%. If your full retirement age is 66, and as much as 30% if your full retirement age is 67. So your monthly benefits will be reduced for the rest of your life. So really consider taking Social Security early because it will be a permanent reduction. As long as your survivors claim as well. So it is important to consider the decision that impact of taking Social Security early will have on your family and not just your own benefits. You can also delay your benefits beyond full retirement age. This includes your benefit amount by about, or sorry, it increases your benefit amount about 8% each year up until age 70. So it does pay to wait if you're able to do so. Now, this is where you fall in terms of your full retirement. So it is important of the date because it is determined when you will receive full benefits. So if you were born between, let's say, 1943 to 54, we say 66, and then each year after that, it's 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, all the way until 1960, and later is 67. If your full retirement age definitely gradually goes up as that. So this is the chart you want to do, plot out your birth year, and you can see when your full retirement for Social Security benefits will take place. So remember we talked about delayed, where taking it early or taking it later past your full retirement age. So in this chart, you can see your different claimant ages and how it impacts your benefit. So in this example, person's full retirement is $1,000 per month at their full retirement age. We see right here in the middle in the gray, is 1,000. And any benefit received earlier, you can see in the red at a reduction. And then you can see on the other side of your full retirement age, you can see those increases, like I said, 8% each year past your full retirement age. Now, if a person decides to collect benefits at age 62, their monthly benefit will be $750 versus the $1,000 at full retirement age. But if they waited until 70, you see that benefit jumps up to $13,020. So if you're healthy, you have other resources for retirement and can manage it, you can expect to rely on Social Security. It does pay to wait if you're able to wait until age 70. Now, deciding when to claim is a very personal decision. If you call the Social Security Administration, they're not going to give you advice on when to claim. That is a very personal decision between you and your family, your spouse, or significant other, that only you can make. So remember, though, the impact of claiming isn't just on your own retirement benefit. It does affect your survivor benefits if your spouse, if he or she outlives you. So definitely consider that when you decide to claim Social Security benefits or when to claim it. So what things do you need to consider when timing your retirement? Just a little bit of discussion, maybe put those, I think, in the Q&A or the chat. Not sure what we're using, Trudy, but whoever wants to put information on there in terms of what type of things do you need to consider when timing Social Security?
Let's put that in the
mhm.
chat, Pam.
The chat. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So in the chat, we're going to put down what type of things do you think you need to consider when timing Social Security? Any suggestions for others and what you should be thinking about? So maybe a few seconds, see if we have anybody populating in the chat on some things to consider when
We
timing
have a
your
health
retirement.
consideration.
Okay. Health.
How is your health?
Okay.
And do you want to keep working or not?
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Any other players?
Life expectancy, maybe.
Okay.
Future expenses.
Definitely good
Do I
things.
want to go to Paris with Andy Garcia?
Okay. Got it. Was that you, Trudy, or is that somebody
Yes,
else's?
that's
Because
me.
okay, because Andy Garcia in Paris always pops up in the seminar, so I want to make sure we didn't have the same person on here who was you definitely envisioned that as a possibility in retirement.
But
Um,
we do have one guest in the audience that said they would go to Paris without Andy Garcia. So
okay,
okay.
got it. Okay, or anybody, Jason Momoa, somebody that you want to go to Paris with. Okay, so great. Thanks for playing. So let's take a look at, some things to consider when you are want to do that. So when you claim, there's no right age. Now, we talked about before some things to consider. Assessing your living expenses, health related information, where are you going to live? All of those sort of things really come into play when it comes to Social Security. Um, how long you're going to live is one of those things, nobody has a crystal ball and doesn't know, but it's something to consider if you consider, there's longevity in your family that you could live quite a bit of time, that does determine how much Social Security or when to claim Social Security. But as I mentioned before, there's no right age when it comes to choosing it. Things to consider, as I mentioned before: health, savings, expenses, and then that decision can impact not only you, but your family. While we will not tell you when the best age to claim Social Security benefits, and like I said, Social Security Administration is not going to do that either, we can help you make informed decisions as well. And you may want to consult your financial professional as well. They may be able to guide you in that instance. So why ways to get your benefits estimates? The amount of monthly benefit is based on the what you've earned for your lifetime. The Social Security Administration looks at the highest 35 years of earnings, and then they have 40, basically the 40 quarters. They're going to take the highest of the 35. They're not going way back when you had that first job. Mine was Six Flags Over America in St. Louis, so they're not way back and going to take a look at that. They're just taking that solid highest 35 years of earnings. Now, in 2023, the maximum benefit was $36,027 a month for a worker retiring at full benefit or full retirement age, so to speak. But we mentioned previously that it was 1907. That's the average. Now, if you don't know how much your benefit will be, there are four ways to find out. The best way is to get your estimate is to go to the Social Security Administration website. They do have login.gov if you are a government worker, but you can go to ssa.gov. You're going to sign up for a username, password, and then you can access your Social Security statement. It's going to be a great resource. You can see your estimated benefits at various ages. You can order a new card. You can review your earnings record, which I say is very, very important, especially if you're within the next probably 5 years from retirement. Start looking at that earnings record, because there could be some zeros where there should be dollars there on jobs that may have missed on your record. Now, when it comes time to apply for benefits, you can also do it on the ssa.gov. You can go old school and complete a form 7004, and then you can mail it in. They'll send you a copy of your statement. If you are over 60, they will send you the statement. I guess they figure, people over 60 can't use the computer. They're not telling you to go online. They're going to mail you the statement. Usually that green and white statement, you'll get it somewhere close to your birthday. And those are ways that you can get it. So go online, create a username, password, access your statement. Old school, mail in the form 7004. You can also call the 800 number. They'll give you some information, and you can also get the statement if you're over 60. AARP has a ton of resources when it comes to Social Security. I actually have a Social Security Resource Center that's available at the AARP.org/Social Security. We answer often asked questions about the Social Security program. It's an easy to navigate page. In addition, there are written content and also a Social Security benefits calculator, so you can play around with it and see where you fall on certain ages. There's videos, vignettes. If you are a registered user of AARP, you can submit questions, and there are experts who will be able to provide personalized responses to you as well. Now, this is the big one: Social Security and work. People always like, hey, can I get Social Security and also work? This is some of the things I want to go over with you to consider if you're going to take Social Security and also work. So this only applies for people who take Social Security benefits early and continue to work. So everybody else, if they're going to wait till full retirement age and work, cover your ears. This is only for people who think they're going to take Social Security early and still work. Okay, so this is not applying if you reach full retirement age or older and you continue to work. Okay, so the 50 people that are on the line, if you know who you are, if it applies to you, great. The other people, cover your ears for about 2 or 3 minutes, because I'm going to go over this. So working. Before you claim your Social Security benefits, you should know that if you claim early and you continue to work, you're going to be subject to what they call the Social Security earnings limit. Now, in this scenario, your benefits will be reduced for $1 for every $2 that you earn above your earning limits, up to $21,240. for 2023. Um, we need to see where that is, probably around the same for 2024. While you're under your full retirement age, like I said, only if you're under your full retirement age, that's 66 or 67, and you continue to work. So for the earnings limit rate rose to 56,520 and in the year in which you reach full retirement age. So this applies only to earnings for the months prior to reaching your full retirement age. And then your benefits are reduced by $1 for every 3 that you earn above the limit. And note that the limits adjust basically on inflation yearly. So these are 2023 numbers. We do have to get those numbers, but you want to look at where the inflation adjusted number is for the earnings limit if you decide to work and you're under your full retirement age. Now, once you do reach your full retirement age, your benefits will not be reduced due to any incomes that you have earned. So you're past the income earnings limit at that point once you reach full retirement age, so you can work. So there are also 2 important things to consider and keep in mind while working and claiming Social Security that most people do overlook. Number 1, if you wait to claim until your full retirement age or later, the earnings limit will not apply to you. So people who had their ears covered, you can uncover your ears now. You will not be subject to the earnings limit if you have reached full retirement age and later and you continue to work. Number 2, if you do claim your benefit before your full retirement age and keep working, the benefit reduction will be returned back to you. So they're going to do the $1 for every 2, $1 for every 3 that you earn. It's not all lost. You're going to get it back in the return in the form of higher monthly benefits when you do reach your full retirement age and decide to claim your Social Security benefits. Okay. So that's Social Security and work. I went past that pretty quickly. I know some but people are going to have questions at the end. So we'll get to those at the end of a presentation. But just know Social Security earnings limit before full retirement age. That's when that comes into play. So let's look at family benefits. When you start receiving Social Security retirement benefits, some member of your family may also qualify to receive benefits on your record. So another interactive part of our presentation. Do you know who can claim Social Security benefits on your record? And we're using the chat, I believe, Trudy. If people want to put down, who do you think can claim Social Security benefits on your record? And we're going to take a few seconds and see if we have any players.
Assuming I can't claim Andy Garcia.
Assuming you cannot claim Andy Garcia.
Just checking. Okay. We have ex-spouse,
Okay.
surviving spouse,
Surviving spouse. Okay.
elderly parents over 65,
Okay.
dependents,
Okay.
husband, my daughters, and someone just wanted to remind me that, yeah, I know Andy Garcia is married.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he has a really nice gray beard going on now these days. So I'm just saying. Great. This is a very, very educated crowd tonight, you know, because there is some that some people miss in terms of who can claim on your Social Security benefit. So here we go. Who can claim on your record? These are the people who can claim on your record. Children, of course. We have spouses. We have ex-spouses. That was the surprise that somebody threw that out because a lot of people aren't aware that ex-spouses you can claim on their record based on their earnings record. And then you also have survivors benefits as well, and dependent parents. So great job, people. Definitely some people who are very educated know about Social Security benefits. So that's great. So we're going to dive into each of these groups and go through who can claim on your record. So children's benefits. The children of retired, deceased, and disabled workers can use, in many cases, collect Social Security benefits on their parents' earning record. Social Security incorporates children into a benefit structure that helps retirees with younger children provide for their families and as a form of insurance when the parent dies or can't work because of a disability. Now, within your family, each qualified child may receive a monthly payment up to about half of the full retirement benefit amount of their parents' earning record. Now, to be eligible, of course, there are some criteria. Your child must be to receive benefits unmarried, under the age of 18 to 19-year-old or full-time student, no greater than grade 12, or 18 or older, disabled from a disability that starts before age 22. So that's how children can receive Social Security benefits on their parents' record. Now, however, there are limits to the amount of Social Security that can be paid by family members and children and other children. So they look at it as a total benefit within the household. So the total depends on the benefit amount and then the number of family members who will also qualify on that parent's record. The total generally varies, but it's generally the family can receive about 150% to 180% of a full retirement benefit. So they're going to look at it as a collective. So if they're 3 children and then a spouse, and they're going to look at it and see where that falls within that 150 to 100% of the full retirement benefit of the parents' earning record. Okay, so that's children's benefits. Spousal benefits. Now, if you have been married for at least 1 year and you are at least 62, you can claim or collect benefit on your spouse's work record, even if you've never worked at a job or paid into the system. So this is a separate pool of money that Social Security has for spousal benefits. Now, a spouse can generally receive up to 50% of their partner's full retirement benefit. Collecting a spousal benefit will not cause the primary earner's benefit to be reduced. Like I said, this is a whole other bucket of money Social Security has. It's not going to affect the primary earner's benefit at all. You can only file a spousal benefit once the spouse has filed for his or her own benefit. That definitely changed. There was, I think, prior to 2015, when they did change it, it was a file and suspend situation. They changed that, and so that's no longer in play. So you need to have the spouse needs to activate their record in order for the spousal benefit to take place. Now, if your spouse claims early, your benefit as a spouse will be based on his or her full benefit. That's why I stress the importance of, if you file early, it can affect the spousal benefit as well as the survivor benefit. It is also important to note that the spousal benefit are intended for couples in which one spouse may significantly more than the other. Now, if both you and your spouse are eligible for a Social Security benefit on your own record, Social Security benefit will take the higher of the two. They will look at your benefit, they'll look at the spousal benefit, the 50% of the spousal benefit, and they will give you the higher of the two. If you made roughly the same as your spouse throughout your career, it's likely that claiming on your own benefit will probably be more than the 50% on the spousal benefit. But nonetheless, like I said, Social Security Administration, when you call or when you file your claim, you have access to your own record, but you also have access to a spousal benefit and other benefits as well that I'll go over. But they will always give you the higher benefit amount on either any of these particular benefit that you are eligible for. So ex-spouse, ex-spouses can receive benefits on their former spouse's record, provided that they were married for at least 10 years. You're eligible for benefit of your ex-spouses. Again, this does not negate any benefit that they have. There's a whole separate pool of money, like I said, Social Security Administration has. Ex-spouse has your own Social Security benefits at least 62, and you have been divorced for at least 2 years. And you're not remarried, and then your own benefits are lower than your spousal benefit. Again, they will take a look at your ex-spouse's benefit, your maybe your own record, and then they'll give you, like I said, the higher of the two there. Survivor benefits. So in the event of a spouse's death, the survivor can collect up to 100% of the benefit the deceased worker of receiving or would have received in the future. Now, this does include any delayed retirement credits the deceased would have earned. However, always a however, it is also include a reduction if the deceased spouse claimed early. Again, claiming strategies, when do you claim? that, because you don't want to have the survivor benefits be a lot lower if you decided to claim early. Survivor benefits can be claimed as early as age 60, 50 if you're disabled, but they will be reduced. They're also be claimed at age if the survivor is caring for an entitled child. And we talked about the criteria for children's benefits. Dependent parents also could be able to collect on the survivor benefit if the deceased parents can show that they relied on that on the child for at least half of their support. Survivor benefits can also be based on when the survivor benefit itself is claimed. So in many situations, a surviving spouse can continue to collect on his or her own record to allow the survivor benefit to grow until he or she reaches full retirement age. This is basically the only time that they're allowing to can make a decision. Do I want to continue to let my benefit grow, take my survivor benefit, and then do a switch a little bit later on down the road? Now, the survivor is still subject to the earnings limit if he or she has not reached full retirement age and continue to work. So keep that in mind if you fall into this area of survivor benefits. Just know that you will still fall in the earnings limit if you are below your full retirement age for at that time. In addition, on the survivor benefit, talk about the impact of remarrying on your survivor benefits. So if you do remarry before the age of 60, 50 if you're disabled, then you cannot receive survivor benefits while you are married. If you remarry after 60, 50 if you're disabled, you can continue to qualify for benefits on your deceased spouse record. So those people out there and you're in a married situation, just know where you are in terms of your age, before 60 or after 60. However, if your current or new spouse is a Social Security beneficiary, you may want to apply for spousal benefits on his or her own record. If the amount is more than the widow or widower's benefit or survivor benefit, you will receive a combination of benefits that equal the higher the amount. So they'll look at the Social Security, the survivor benefit, they'll look at the current spouse's benefit, they'll look at your own record, and they'll kind of combine it to see which one is higher. That's the thing about Social Security Administration. They will always give you the higher of each benefit that you are eligible for. Okay, so if you are eligible for survivor benefits, your own record, a spousal, an ex-spousal type of situation, they will run those scenarios for you and take a look at what the higher benefit is for you. Okay. All righty. Let's jump into another quiz. So if you can guess, how many beneficiaries are age 100 and older? How many centenarians do we have out there still receiving Social Security checks? Yay, got, interesting. So we have 40 roughly. Okay. So about 43% said 52, 1, 48. We had 32 at 29, and then we also had 25% at 46. So definitely there's a lot of people out there still receiving Social Security benefits over 100. So drum roll, of course, if you pick C, answer is always C when you take these Scantron, kind of multiple choice things. So the correct answer is C, 52,148 centenarians that are out there receiving Social Security benefits. Again, thanks for playing. Wish there were some parting gifts, but unfortunately not. Maybe a trip to Paris with Andy Garcia. So the future of Social Security, let's talk a little bit about that as we wrap up. So this presentation goes by really quick because there's a lot of content, but we always leave it open for questions because there's a lot of questions that come out of this presentation. So as we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about the future of Social Security and summarize some key points that we have. So Social Security good financial shape overall. I know people hear a lot of different things on, oh my gosh, Social Security is going away. Oh my gosh, it's not going to be there. A variety of different things that you hear. So in fact, there are some good news about increase in benefits for current Social Security recipients. Just last year, the COLA was 8.7%. That was the highest it had ever been. That works out to about $150 monthly raise for most people who were receiving Social Security retirement benefits last year. According to the annual report released by the trustees of March 2023 last year, the two Social Security trust funds as reserves for the program will be depleted in 2034. That's based on the annual report. Okay, so we got some work to do. So after 2034, Social Security would still be able to pay probably about 80% of scheduled benefits. Policymakers, of course, will have to act to address future benefit shortfalls, and the longer they wait, the harder the choices do become. We are in election year, so we have to kind of figure out what's going to happen with Social Security. I'm sure it's on the docket in terms of what the future of Social Security looks like and what they will do about the shortfall when we get to 2034. Now, we know through a recent national survey AARP conducted, AARP remains a popular topic across political parties. Social Security sovereignty, fairness are not political party issues, they're American issues, and AARP is definitely on the forefront in the fight to protect the hard-earned benefits of current and future generations as it relates to Social Security. So just know that. So, ways to apply for benefits. Now, there are several ways you can apply for Social Security retirement benefits. Here are some options. You can apply, you should apply 3 months prior to when you want to begin receiving your benefits. Do not wait. So, if you need your check, we have to wait at least 3 months. So, just know where you are in the cycle. You can apply online by creating, again, your username, password, my Social Security account at ssa.gov. It's useful for a number of things, as I mentioned before, reviewing your earnings record, getting estimates on various ages to claim benefits, also your estimated disability benefits and more. Once you are eligible to apply, you can do so at that Social Security account, as I mentioned before. You can also call that 800 number. They'll walk you straight through the application at the 800-772-1213 number. And you can also reach out to your closest Social Security field office. They may be a little bit of a wait. I'm in the Manassas, Virginia area, and I was driving around and I saw a long line. I thought it was a new popular restaurant. No, it was the line for Social Security field office. So make an appointment if you can. If you are going to go to a field office, just find one that's convenient near you. And you can also find the number to your closest field office at the ssa.gov/locator to see where one is. Now, remember, again, 3 months prior to before you want to start collecting benefits is where you need to do. Okay. All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and open up the line for some questions. Trudy and Colleen.
Here I come to save the day.
Exactly.
Okay, the first question. I'm having problems with my mouse today. I can't
I know. I was
get.
having mouse problems too earlier.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So, Colleen, I'm going to go to the second question because I can't get to the first question, and it's an easy one for you, Pam.
Okay.
In general,
Mhm.
at what age do most people file for Social Security?
In general, most people generally wait, 66 is the new 50 or whatever. Most people wait until full retirement age. The 66 or 67 is what I see most of the time. I don't see a whole lot of people filing early returns as much. So I would probably say around 66.
Okay.
So the next question is it Congress that must increase the salary limit against which Social Security is deducted, or will it happen via an executive order?
For the most part, it's I think it's a congressional. Then IRS is in there somewhere. But I'm not sure about that. So you may want to definitely check with your local congressperson. Ask them how that works. But generally, it's a congressional ruling on what they want to do with Social Security in terms of the solvency of it. But the earnings, I'm not too certain.
If you continue to earn income after
Mhm.
age 70,
Mhm.
whoops, hold on, I don't get the whole question on that one. Well, I gotta
Oh.
skip that one because I don't know what the
Uh-oh.
question is.
I can do it for you, Trudy. It says,
Okay.
Okay.
if you continue to earn income after age 70 and you file for Social Security at
Mhm.
age 70. So what if you continue to earn income? And I think you did talk a little bit about this, Pam.
Mhm.
What if you continue to earn income after age 70 and then you file for Social Security, which you're required to by age 70?
Mhm. Yeah. They're not going to reduce any earnings or anything like that. I think that question is, are you able to get a bigger benefit type of thing? That's what it sounds like you're talking about. Generally, once you hit 70, that's the number, the benefit amount that you will receive. You're just not going to reduce your income by, you won't fall into the earnings limit test at that point.
Colleen, thanks for bailing me out on that one. Pam, does income from an IRA account count towards your adjusted gross income for federal taxes? Income from an
For
IRA
federal
account.
taxes, yes, yes, if it's a traditional IRA. A Roth IRA does not, because it's tax-free. But when you think about, just a little bit to think about when you're kind of the taxation of Social Security, it doesn't really get into it in this presentation. But I've done quite a few of them, is that it's a provisional income. So they will count your adjusted gross income and then see what portion of your Social Security will be taxable. So things that are tax-free, Roth IRAs or cash value life insurance or things like that will not count as your AGI. And so it could lower the amount that will be taxable for Social Security. So definitely work with a financial professional to kind of go through your retirement income structure and see where Social Security falls and see how much will be taxable.
Okay, so the next question is, if you claim before your spouse claims, can you go back and claim once he or she does, since he or she made more income?
Unfortunately, no. They eliminated the file and suspend portion. So once you start taking yours, that's kind of a done deal. It's only when there is a survivor benefit will they go back and kind of make the switch. But once you start yours, then that's kind of it. You can't go back and do yours unless he decides to file first to open yours and you're able to take the spousal benefit at the same time. But yeah, they eliminated the file and suspend to do that and make the switch later down the road.
Okay.
Pam, I'm gonna go back to one of the questions that came in on the chat. And that was, one of our guests wants to receive their first Social Security check on October 1st. Does that mean that that person needed to file in June?
Yes.
Okay. So if that individual files tomorrow,
Tomorrow,
when would they
yeah.
expect their first check? 3 months?
Yes, 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Now they generally try to get it somewhere between the first part of the month, generally between the first and the seventh of the month. So they would probably be looking at October, where are we at? We're on the 23rd. Yeah, it's still 3 months, but they'll try to get it as close to that beginning of that third month as possible.
And one more question from the chat, and that is, can you explain WEP? If I remember from your previous presentations, WEP is windfall
Windfall
elimination provision?
provision. Yes,
Okay. What exactly
exactly.
is that?
Yeah, so mostly with federal workers who didn't had earnings as well as government service pensions, either CSRS, kind of fall into this windfall elimination provision. It's kind of they look at a combination of it. So whatever you get with your pension, and then whatever you got on your earnings record, um, whatever, it's a small amount that they would reduce your Social Security benefits by a certain amount. And it's a formula, so a lot of people don't fall into WEP. So the person who did ask that, just know, if you go to Social Security Administration, you can look up WEP. It is a calculator. They will show you how much, based on what your, let's say, CSRS pension will be, how much you actually earned with your Social Security benefit, and then they will show you the reduction of the amount that your Social Security would be if you get Social Security. Sometimes it's eliminated altogether, depending on the amount that you're getting for your federal pension. But if you do go to the Social Security website and look up their WEP, it is a formula that you can calculate, kind of put your numbers in there and see where you fall.
Okay. I have another question. This is an interesting one. So if you wait until you're 70 to file for Social Security, but you're still earning income at that time, will your Social Security payment, or what's taken out of your paycheck, be reduced after age 70?
You're no longer paying into Social Security, so I would assume not. Once you hit 70, that's the benefit that they've calculated on your that highest 35 years of earnings. After that, so there will not be taken out Social Security out of your checks after age 70.
Okay.
Okay, here's a what if question for you, Pamela. If
Mhm.
I take Social Security at age 62, and
Mhm.
then my husband divorces me and he takes his at age 70, can I change my amount to his when I reach full retirement age?
If she's already claiming,
She's already claiming it.
yeah. Once, the only way that to do is, if you're already claiming, the only way to make the switch is a survivor benefit. All of the other ones don't apply. So once you started receiving yours, yeah, it's kind of a done deal at that point. With that, so no switching, and when you get down the road for that. Now, nobody asked the question, but I'm just going to put it here since that kind of reminded me of something. If you decide, if you're kind of claiming early, let's say 62 or 63, before full retirement age, and you're like, oopsie, I made a mistake, because now I'm going back to work and I don't want that. You could, within a 12-month window, you can do kind of a one-time reset for it, and then freeze it, but you have to pay back what you received. But it's only within a 12-month window. If you decide, oops, I made a mistake, I don't want to do this right now, that you can suspend your claiming and then pick it up later, but you have to pay back money within that 12-month window. That's the only one-time reset that they allow you to do.
Got another couple of questions with regard to when individuals might expect their first payment. And the answer is you need to apply
Mhm.
3 months
3 months.
before the date that you want to get your first check.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
got that correct?
You got it. Applied 3, yeah. And depending, at least 3 months. Sometimes it's a little longer, but at least 3 months since you want to give them.
All right. So if you call the Social Security Administration tomorrow,
Tomorrow, yes.
you will expect your first check in
Probably
January.
no. Yeah, probably. At least somewhere in November-ish.
Okay.
Say.
Okay. I think we've got that one
Well,
covered.
probably December because around in
Oh, but
September.
then they get,
So
but then they
October,
get me
November,
with this
December.
one because I
Okay.
forgot this could happen too.
Yeah.
Is the first check retro to the filing date?
Retro to the filing date. I know. The benefit amount that is when you claim, I'm sorry, the amount, let's say you're full retirement age, whatever benefit amount, that's what you're going to get. So I don't think it's going to be retro to that, to the amount that you're trying to get within that 3 months, basically. Whatever the benefit amount is at age, 66 and 2 months, that's the benefit you're going to receive.
Here's another question for you, Pamela. I'm 73 years old, collecting my spousal benefit. Should I inquire with Social Security if my own benefit is higher or is my spousal benefit higher? So do I go to Social Security at this point in time at 73 years old to figure out which of the two?
If you've been receiving benefits since 70, they probably would have gave you the higher of the two at the point which you filed claim on your spouse's record. So if you're receiving the spousal benefit, then that's probably the higher
The higher of
your
the
own
two.
record. Yeah, the higher of the
Okay.
two. Like I said, I know there's a lot of questions around that, but based on the rules, they did change it. The only time to make a switch to another benefit amount would be a survivor benefit. You can take your survivor benefit, unfortunately, if your spouse passes away, and then you could take the spousal benefit and then switch to your own record if it's higher down the road. Any other benefit, once you claim your benefit, there's no going back to anybody into another benefit to qualify for. You would have to do that in the beginning. When you file, they will look at a spousal benefit, they will look at a survivor benefit, they'll look at your own record, they'll look at your ex-spouse's benefit, and they will always give you the higher of those two. But once you activate those, there's no going back to that besides the survivor benefit.
Thank you. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Pamela, can I ask you to go back a couple of slides to
Yeah.
the children's benefits when a parent
Okay.
is deceased? Can you pull that slide back up?
Yeah. Yep, I can. Yes.
And the question is, could you clarify the benefits again? So can you go over that page one more time?
Yes. So the Social Security is going to incorporate the benefit structure based on the criteria of the child. So for children to receive benefits based on a deceased parent's record, unmarried, under the age of 18, or 18 to 19-year-old, and a full-time student up to grade 12, or 18 or older and disabled prior to age 22. And then what they're going to look at is kind of a combination of each child in the family. So if there are multiple children and a spouse, the family benefit is capped at 150 to 180% of the deceased spouse record. If that clarified a little bit more.
I think just seeing the slide again and then having you reiterate it should probably be enough. But there again,
Okay.
that's a question that if they called the Social Security office or probably even went to AARP's website with
Mhm.
regard to Social Security, that information would be there for
Yeah.
them as well.
Mhm.
And with that, we are coming up close to the 8 o'clock hour. So I am going to suspend questions because I think we've covered just about
About
everything. I'm
Okay.
going to ask you to clarify one thing before I close out, Pamela, and that
Yes.
is how would you answer the question? Does AARP have retirement financial advisors who can help me decide what's best for me?
AARP has a resource called the Interview and Advisor tool that you can look at, and they kind of give you some resources on what to look for and what to ask a financial advisor that could help you guide you. If it's specific to Social Security, of course, we have the Social Security Resource Center. But then, it'll show you some things to think about when you want to engage the services of a financial advisor. So that's the Interview and Advisor tool on the AARP website.
Very good. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And on behalf of AARP Virginia, I'd like to thank you for joining us this evening and express our gratitude to Pamela Sams for sharing her valuable time and expertise with us this evening. Pam, thank you. You know how much I enjoy working with you. And
Yes.
you should be able to know I learn stuff from you every time I help you with this presentation.
Great. That's what I'm here for.
So now we'd like to get your feedback on our program. In the chat box, you'll see a link to a survey. If you would take a moment to click on that link and take a few moments to share your feedback with us, we will also send that link in a follow-up email if it doesn't appear in the chat box. If you enjoyed tonight's program and want to join us again, we will be offering this program again in October 22nd, and you can register for that program by going to aarp.org/local or aarp.org/VCC, like Virtual Community Center. And there you will see a lot of the programs that we offer, both virtually and in person. Until that time, and until next time, we encourage you to continue thinking about and planning for your secure financial future. Thank you for joining us this evening.